There are a couple of different intellectual properties that could do exceptionally well if they took the time to actually develop a fully fleshed out MMO. The Zelda franchise, well, actually, no, we have Genshin Impact. The Digimon franchise, no, actually, we do have multiple different Digimon MMOs. But I think most importantly, Pokemon. Granted, we do have multiple different Pokemon MMOs that aren't officially licensed, officially endorsed. These are fan projects that have essentially taken a version of a Pokemon game and then made them massively multiplayer. These aren't technically legal. I've covered these on numerous different occasions, but today we're actually talking about a game titled Project Seed. This is at present not a fully released game. We do not have a full trailer for it either. This is not a fan-made MMORPG like the other variants, Poke MMO, Pokemon Revolution, other games that I've covered in the past, which I've thoroughly enjoyed, by the way, because I'm a big Gen 1 Pokemon player myself. This is an unannounced experimental Pokemon project that is being prototyped inside Game Freak as their very first real step towards an official MMO-style online game. I was made aware of this earlier on Twitter when I happened across a tweet that was made, 12 hours ago, with almost 2 million total views, 36,000 likes. The next evolution of Pokemon video games, Project Seed, a multi-region MMO that takes place in the Kanto region, Johto region, Hoenn region, Sinnoh region, and Kitakami region. All the regions are going to be interconnected into a single world. It is currently in pre-production at Game Freak, and it is coming 2029 or later. Some of the images you see on screen actually look pretty good. It looks comparable, I think, to current gen Pokemon games. It also looks like it has a variety of different themes. Now, the current information we have available to us is based on leaks. All the information comes from internal Game Freak planning documents that did leak in 2025. This information is all publicly available online. Let's elaborate a little bit more on what the game has to offer based off of what I've compiled, beginning with the massive, seamless multi-region world. As noted, the Kanto, Hoenn, Sinnoh, and Kitakami region are all connected into one singular map that is modeled after real-life Japan. The goal here is to literally be able to walk from Hoenn all the way to the Sinnoh region or any other region seamlessly without a single loading screen, without a single barrier inhibiting you. This is just like Black Desert Online. This is just like how World of Warcraft used to be, and is actually going to offer us a world unlike any other. Imagine being able to walk from one side of the world to the other with hundreds, potentially thousands of different Pokemon that you can go out and capture. It is going to feature an online multiplayer mode with MMO elements, meaning multiple players can coexist together in the very same persistent world. Players will be able to explore together, they'll be able to interact with one another, they'll be able to share the experience, which they have described internally as a next generation online game playable by multiple people, and an illustrated book game with people from all around the world. Now, from what I've been able to see, it doesn't state whether or not this is going to be an action combat game, if it's going to be a tab target game. I think it would be very, very cool if they opted for action, being able to throw out your Pokemon. Maybe you could take control of your Pokemon, kind of like the upcoming Anemo game. Maybe you'll just end up initiating commands, and then the Pokemon will essentially control themselves. I don't think that would be really necessarily all that interactive or engaging, especially if the Pokemon don't really possess the AI here that can think through moves effectively and adequately dodge. I think being able to effectively either transform into your Pokemon or just gain direct control of them to engage in boss fights or dungeons or raids and everything, that'd just be really freaking cool. It is going to be a dynamic world with real weather and individual seasons. Yo, I don't mean to interrupt the video, but I need to take a moment here to thank all my incredible patrons over on Patreon whose support continues to allow for me to do regular videos like this every single day on this channel. Thank y'all so much, including our YouTube channel members. You guys mean the world to me. So do you guys as viewers as well. Now, without further ado, let's continue. They've confirmed that it will pull real-time weather and seasonal data So various different Pokemon encounters, visuals, and events change based on what's actually happening outside, which I think is a very innovative way of tackling an MMO. So if it's winter in Japan, then it's winter in game. And then Pokemon, different Pokemon, will appear during different seasons. This provides motivation for more players to log in more regularly, more frequently. That way, during summer, specific Pokemon come out. During winter, specific Pokemon come out, meaning that to catch them all, you need to be logging in every month, every season. This keeps things diverse. This keeps things exciting. And honestly, that's something that MMOs just aren't really anymore. The game is in its early prototyping pre-production state at Game Freak's experimental development division. This is not a traditional remake. This is a testbed for future Pokemon online games, meaning that this could effectively be the game, or it could turn out to be a completely different game that has evolved even beyond this. They did go on to state that 2029 or later would be the release window here. They're planning on releasing Gen 10 in 2026. Once again, I would like to point out here and note that this is absolutely nothing to do with MMOs like Poke MMO. Nothing has been officially announced or officially confirmed by Nintendo, by the Pokemon company, by Game Freak. Everything is entirely based on leaks. So the game could end up looking completely different. They could end up scrapping the Pokemon MMO entirely, or they could progress into something very different. If this game actually genuinely releases, it would basically be the Pokemon MMO that I have been waiting for, that you have been waiting for, that we have effectively been waiting years, decades for. We've been begging for since, what, the Game Boy days? This is going to be one giant interconnected Pokemon world where everyone can play together. This is an incredibly ambitious project, granted, and people all over social media, as was evidenced by that singular tweet, are losing their minds over it, and that is warranted, especially if you played that new Pokopia game. I know you think that you just hit the end of the video, and technically, yeah, you have. And I know your first reaction is to close out of it at this juncture, but don't. No, instead, I urge you to take a moment here and click one of the videos on screen that are coming up in just a moment, so you remain up to date with everything going on in the gacha genre. Trust me, you're not going to regret doing so. Stay flaccid.